Okay, once again, thank you for watching. If you were on the last live, if you had happened to join the live stream of it, I know that was an interesting reading. I had to kind of end it abruptly there, but it needed to end. Okay, so if you haven't checked it out, I do invite you to go check it out. Later, I will try to put that link in this video. Okay, if I can remember, it was entitled Black Butterfly, and then Karmic's, I think it was Black Butterfly, Karmic's Pissed, and Getting Karma. Okay, and that may be for you. Now, I do want to say, with me, my readings and stuff, you just can't put it in a box. They're definitely timeless. It's definitely depending on where you are in the trajectory of a storyline, if it's your story. Okay, so for some, it's past, present, or future, right? So I'll invite y'all to check that out. I'll try to put it in the link on this video later. Okay, this video says they need you to look like a flake. So what we're gonna do is story time, okay? I'm gonna give some examples. I like to give examples versus just a bunch of terms and definitions and cliches and catchphrases. I like to back it up and try to break it down with what it looks like in physical form, manifesting as a situation, because that's how we're going to be able to connect the dot and see how this looks, right? Because we say stuff like, oh, they need you to look like a flake. So what does that look like? When you say they need you to look like a flake, oh, so they're going to lie on you. They're going to gossip about you, all those things. Okay, that's some of it. But what does it, how does it, what's the unfoldment? How far does some of them go? Because some of them go extreme. Okay, especially if you're dealing with the dark triad. Okay, on the lighter side, it's just going to be small time gossip. On the light side, small time gossip, small time little smear campaign, icy glares, implying, telling people that, you know, and it'll kind of drop right there and it'll fizzle out right there. As it progresses into more pervasive toxicity, this is going to be something that is routinely done, and it's going to be something that is done with multiples of people. It's going to be range from personal friends and family to professionals. It's going to go from just a little chit chat on the phone to, you know, social media, to businesses and organizations. It's going to then go to those who do spell work. Then it's going to go to trying to sabotage your movement, making things difficult, to make you stress, to make you lose things, to hopefully make you sick, to interfere with your stability behind the scene. So what this all looks like is, for an example, if they need you to look like a flake, okay, so that they won't, because this is the situations where they may say something and, you know, try to push themselves off as somebody wise, spiritual, religious, developed, intelligent, grounded, right? So they may say those things, right? And you're their target, right? You're their target. You, they don't like. You, they're jealous of. You, they're envious of. You, they want to be. So then the way this looks in real time on a very pervasive scale, because we're going to talk about psychopathy or the dark triad. Many of the collective that I read for, those are the types of personalities and situations that they've lived. Okay, so it wasn't no small time shit. Okay, no little gossip, little, you know, whoop. No. It was much more involved. and had gone on for a much longer period of time. Okay? So they will do something like this. If they're into the baneful workings, and usually this is going to be in secret, because most of these people are not as courageous as to face their true selves to the world. So this will be in secret. If they're a practitioner and work with practitioners in secret because they're scared of their family and they're scared of what the, society, but they've been doing this shit since 1978. Anyway, so they will then get together with whoever is involved, and they will commence serious, heavy-duty, high-grade practices, baneful workings on you. And now, so I'm gonna stop there because I'm gonna break it down into the different stages and parts that they'll do. Let's stop right there with that one. For some of you, this is around the clock. This is several different sectors of weirdos, okay? Around the clock, playing in your energy, playing in your children's energy. And what does this look like in real time? This looks like you losing a job for no reason in your younger years. So we're going to take this through. Okay, this looks like you either getting sick or being afflicted, or your children being oddly afflicted in an unnatural, unnormal kind of way. This looks like, seeming to have certain people drawn to you. In some cases, it's not just because you're empathic. It's when you have practitioners and people playing in your energy, what they're doing is putting things on you that is going to draw in toxicity. So, in other words, they were sending entities to you unbeknownst to you. See, because I'm talking about how this manifests. So this looks like you being stressed out and not know why. This looks like you having issues, or needing, your kid is having an issue, or, and it's kind of disguised. To the naked eye, this looks like it's standard life. But that's the beginning stages of it. Because see, they need you to look like a flake, and in order for that to stick, this can't be a one-shot deal. Okay? So they have to invest in stuff behind your back for a long time. So that's the spell work that's affecting your health and your well-being, because we stopped with the baneful workings. To affect you and your children's health and well-being, and putting stuff on you that makes you draw in negative experiences, and that causes people to not see you properly, because unbeknownst to you, they have been putting shit on you, and it's in the naked, it's not visible. It's called destiny swapping. But you know what I'm saying? They put, shit on you. So it starts to repulse people, or they'll come in and it's okay. And then for whatever reason, out of the blue, nowhere, for no reason, no special event. And it's just, they weird. They switch up on you and shit. They weird. It's a spell. It is. Okay. So this is what it looks like though. You having those kinds of experiences. That because in your mind, you're working hard and you're trying as hard as you know how. But since humans can't get inside of you, humans have a tendency to take things at face value because they, ran into so-and-so that was a flake and didn't want to do nothing. And they, humans have a tendency to clunk together shit based on the surface. And even you in the early phases don't understand. Because as far as you knew, you were trying. You were studying, you were going to college, you were working hard. For some of you, you took it spiritual and religious. You was like, I'm going to get saved, delivered, sanctified, for long ago. Like, you went down that path because, you know, it's like, what is that? And still, because unbeknownst to you, this is the sabotage behind the scenes so that you still look flaky. Okay, that's the beginning stages of it. Now, as it progresses, let's say over time, because they need you to look like a flake. So as it progresses, as stuff starts to dissipate or maybe not work the way they want, then they'll amp it up with more sophisticated spell work. On top of, now they're going to bring in the physicality. They'll start paying people. There's a whole lot of lowlives in the world, humans. I'm sorry if that's saddening. But all you got to do is step outside. Or, I mean, there's a whole lot of people that's weak-willed. I talk about it on the last video. They're weak-willed. These types of people play on people that are disabled, people that are elderly, people that are full of lust and weak-willed, easily manipulated and controlled. People that are impoverished, you know, because they need some kind of a leverage. They need some, you know, people in a desperate state of being. So they start recruiting retards to be willing to befriend you, to be willing, you know, make nice with you, to even, you know, play like they want to help you or support you in order for them to abuse you. They will pay people, go in, act this way, and then like just so they can fuck with your adrenal system, your cortisol, get you in fight, flight, or freeze. This is psychological. This is, it's intentional. It's planned. Because it's to affect your health and well-being so that you can look like a flake. So that you can look like somebody who just make bad choices. Yes, sir. So they'll start paying people and you don't know, because see, remember, you got to think of this in real time. As far as you're concerned, you are really a good person and you're trying to become the best versions of yourself. You have flaws and weaknesses like everybody else. But as far as you know, you have been, whether you went down the religious path, the spiritual path, or just in self-improvement, education, like you a good person, like as far as you were concerned, you were trying to give things all you had, but they put energy on you and on your children. And when that started to lose its potency, because some of y'all, I'll get into that on another video. When that starts to lose its potency, this is why they have to continue to amp up the ante. It's like, this is not really going, bitch. You know, how they broke out of that. Shit. Okay. You know, we gonna have to get some other niggas. Or, you know, we need to do something. We're gonna get into proximity. We gonna have to start paying bitches, landlords, bitch. We gonna need to get into the wherever the fuck. So, but here's where we're going with all that. To you, you're just trying to do life like everybody else. But you're being forced to deal with situations that for whatever reason seems to be out of your control, but you are making the best of it, right? But again, this is still feeding into their need for you to look like a flake. Remember, most humans take things at face value. And all they know and they see is the changes you go through. They don't know anything about your sabotagers. And most people don't know anything about people beyond the spell work. Most people don't know nothing about people do offer people shit. And people will be willing to do shit. Listen, if you're an addict, no disrespect. Everybody's got a story. We all have had a journey. I get it. But we still got to call it. Because I just said, they typically recruit those who are more susceptible to being willing to do anything. And who's more susceptible to being willing to do anything? Addicts. It's several different groups they'll target. It's going to be addicts, okay? Then it's going to be those who are lust-ridden, weak-willed, easily controlled by the mind, pussy and money and clout, okay? Then the third subsector group is going to be like-minded people who equally have a hate for you. But those are the three groups that they recruit to be willing to take an offer to sabotage you. So that's if it's your social media, okay? The way that looks in real time is they'll have people, pay people to watch you, pay people to stalk you, pay people to report your videos, pay people to put bad comments. You see that? Pay people to freeze your social media or slow it down or whatever, hoping that maybe you'll give up on it. And then once again, so that you'll look like a flake. They will pay people to cause problems because they know that some of you, that you're not looking for problems with people. People, for whatever reason, seem to be looking for a problem with you. So they'll start paying people to be a problem for you so that you will leave, or so that you would feel like you don't have a choice but to leave because people are incessant on trying to fuck with you. They'll pay people that too. I'll offer you, this, just irritate them, just be annoying, just, I'll give you this, this, and that. And that's with the hopes of pushing you to leave, whether that is leave a job, leave a home, leave a place, leave a location. Stalk them so that they'll leave, so that we can make them look like they're running away from their problems. Do all this stuff to them so we can make it seem like they're flaky, run away from their problems, and that they're just making bad choices with bad people, but the bad people we hired. The world doesn't know any of that. But I'm explaining it in a sense of how does this look? So this look like you constantly seeming to think you're meeting people and it's all gravy. And the next thing you know, they start moving weird. They start, being cold and standoffish for no reason. Right? Or they start being petty, or they start, just wanting one-sided, like wanting to talk with you for energy. But then, when things are kosher for them or whoever they're on that day, then you're not a priority. Like all of these types of things. And this is, again, to discourage you. It's to get you to continue to have to go in different directions so that to the world it looks like you're somebody that's just directionless. That you're somebody who don't know how to handle conflict, but that's actually the opposite of the truth. You can't handle conflict with people who play in psychological and nigga bitch childish games. Healthy conflict resolve is when you're dealing with everybody face value. I mean, you know, they're there, you're saying what you need to say, you're handling the business. But how do you handle conflict? Okay, these people are stalking me, and then, oh, I'm not stalking them. Oh, these people doing baneful spell for me. I'm not doing baneful spell for me. These people are putting shit in me and my kids' food and stuff. You see that? And then people who just want to have a problem with you, you're not going to conflict resolve. So all of that, when you start having these experiences more and more, unnaturally so, okay? Unnaturally so. Again, because it was the destiny swapping. They wanted your essence and energy, and they wanted their trash bag shit on you. How this looks is, you know, you try to befriend people, you try to reconcile with a strange family, and what this looks like is you do that, they on the same bullshit, they fuck with your energy as a result, then they can make it seem like you're grumpy, irritable, lazy. You see all that? That's what it looks like in real time. Because remember, meanwhile, you're still in your essence, you're still like, okay, well, hell. And with the proper, a healthy mind, it's going to be like, hey, I wouldn't have wanted it this way, but especially if you got a lot of earth or you're just earthy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, however, you have to know when to hold them and know when to fold them and know when to walk away. However, you know, sometimes even life gives you lemons, and you can't put sugar and make lemonade because you have people who want to make sure that you can't make lemonade. So you have to take it at the face value in that case and go very well. You're not going to push and fight over and over again, something that's beating a dead horse. And since the world don't like to believe that people are targeted and people are being stalked and people that are being, you know, covertly attacked and abused, then it, unfortunately, it makes you look like a flake. When they get you in reactive abuse, it makes you look like the emotionally unstable one because the world is surface. You uprooting your life, moving away, because see, that's their thing. You may have been somebody that was more stabilized prior. That's their thing, that can't stay in no one place. But the moment, for some of you, it's the moment you start collabing with certain people, you notice when that switch happened. They want the world to see them as what's true of you, and want the world to see you as what's true of them. And the way that looks is behind the scenes sabotage that makes your life appear unstable. And it's because they have manufactured instability for you, because they have been thwarting your hard work and your efforts. And they have been thwarting and stealing your energy, your creativity. They destiny swapped. They have been using their resources and their connections to sabotage you. So no matter how hard you work, no matter how nice, because many of you, you know, different paths you could have taken on, the attitude of, he who wants friends must first show himself friendly, and you would show yourself friendly, and people will be okay for 5 minutes, and then they start acting weird for no reason. So I'm saying this for the collective out there so that hopefully you can make more sense of it a lot quicker, understanding that, yeah, this was a slow game. Knowing your own heart is important, and knowing your own capabilities is important, because once you really tap into that, then it's like, wait a minute, no, it's not me. Also, just empathy and compassion. Like, these people are attacking your health and your well-being. And your children's health and well-being. And don't give me that shit. You can't be some single parent and that not be a factor. On top of the natural cycles of life, on top of just the natural occurrences of things happening. So you had a combination of just the natural occurrence of life with the added constant sabotage and interference. On top of your own mistakes. So now we got the third factor, because we all do make mistakes. None of us have made all of the right decisions all of the time. So it looks like you on a hamster wheel, working really hard and really good, but for whatever reason. You see that? And when you are put in a position where you have to make executive decisions based on what's being presented to you, in other words, you move to a state with family, or where family was, under the guise that this was going to be something supportive, balanced, grounded, just and fair, loving, empathetic, compassionate, and kind. You uproot yourself. You go there knowing full well that you don't have absolutely any connections there, and they know that full well. So what that looks like is you go to that state under the guise of friends and family without having any other connections of your own. So what this looks like is now this. You go under that guise, but you don't know the fullness of why they even offered. So in the background, it looks like everything seems off for you ever since. They end up portraying you behind the scene and then lying about it to everybody else, because this was something done behind the scene. So your relationships was constantly being interfered with. People kept being weird, paying people to come towards you, stalking your social medias, people trying to hinder and hooking up with other people that's jealous or insecure and one thing and another to interfere with your business growth, your social media, your ideas, stuff like that. That's what this looks like. So it can look like you don't know nothing. Meanwhile, they're taking and copying everything you do. But to make it look like you don't know nothing, you're cursed, you're bad news, you're a flake. And when you leave a job, because like I said, some of you all have people that have their hands and their tentacles in so many things, and this is all behind your back. And they'll start influencing people in those arenas to irritate you, to annoy you, to do weird shit to you, to push you to the brink so that either you'd get fired or that you'd leave. And in some cases, because you all take make the best of your situations. When you move on, what it's serving for them is it's helping the storyline that you're a flake. Now, this is where I want to close it, as where this gets very irritating for them. And it's going to help you to understand something about when you broke certain cycles. As you start to realize that people were not wanting you to have stability, not wanting you to work, not wanting you to have relationships or whatever, when you start to really see it and you start making your own adjustments, you then start to break some of the patterns just by way of you knowing. So for an example, what this looks like is, let's say they claimed you didn't want to work. Let's say they were going around telling everyone in the Americas that you were just simply someone who was flaky, someone lazy, someone who didn't want to work, someone who just is too hung up on sex and men, which is actually the truth of them, another video. That's what they could have convinced everybody. They don't want to work. They'll find a reason not to work. They're just lazy. They have their head in the clouds. They're just all those things. And let's say you went and you found work. You found something creatively so that works for you. Okay, that works for you based on who you are in your life and whatever your current situation and circumstances were. You find the job, and let's say you break the mold, because chances are they were talking the entire time, because most of the time they know about it because they have people stalking you and watching you. And so they were betting on and banking like that ain't gonna last. Everything, they're just weak. Their mind, they can't handle anything. They're gonna quit. They're gonna get, call off all the time, and they're gonna have problems. They're not gonna know what they're doing, and they're gonna just watch like they don't want to work, or they don't have any real skill set, or their priorities are not straight. Just watch. And you all break the mold and surpass the length of time that they foresaw it. So now what this looks like for you is, this is when they amp up the ante. Because since they couldn't get you, in this case, to look like a flake by, what your normal patterns were, and you're starting to look too stable and too successful, you become too good at it. It's becoming something that is being recognized, and even some level of promotions there. So what they then do is, if they have, first and foremost, they're going to do spell work on that. Okay? They're going to do spell work on that leadership and that company. And then after that, if they know any of these people in these companies, they will be sowing negative seeds. They will recruit people who are there, who are, like I said, low vibing, to fuck with you, to irritate you, to do spell work on you while you're working, to have people to call you and be in your energy, or to come. They will go that far. Okay, follow me. They're going to go that far. Especially if they can't pressure you. So they're just going to go in and start, okay, well, we're just going to come and start doing some weird shit, some spell work and whispering weird shit in their ear. And then we're going to try to expose them for cursing us back. So then they'll try to force a situation to where you were deemed unfit. Like, oh, you're on timeout and you need to get an evaluation so they can get some kind of a paper trail. So you see what I'm saying with how sabotage looks in real time? To make it seem like you are a flake once you start getting too much stability and credibility. Because they need that. They know that most of the world is surface. They know that most of the world is lazy. So, and they'll deny that because the people that they will hook up with in these businesses is going to deny it with them and for them because they don't want their jobs to be on the line. And when you all walk away, now see, here's the thing. For you, collective, you're okay because you have the support that you need. You're a co-creator. In some cases, it's liberating for you, especially if it was something that was turning toxic. You take a licking, okay? But to them and for the world that they're trying to convince, it's how they're able to make you look like a flake. Now, that last round may not have stuck the way they wanted. And the reason why the last round may not have stuck the way they wanted because too many people got exposed and you had already broken modes. You had already proven people wrong. While having all of that spell work done on you and your kids, while having all these people stalking you, niggas and bitches all up in your face, zealots, people that's nosy, that don't know they place, and you know what I'm saying? All of this shit, dealing with your own issues at hand and trying to work through things while being brokenhearted or betrayed by people who will do anything for a buck. All the while, you kept at it. And this is why, maybe for some of you towards the end of some of these things, this is when they started bringing in more people to fuck with you more and started coming in with some sneaky weird shit so that these people can get in your energy and do spell work. Because they knew that you were going to defend yourself. And they knew that that would be traceable and they can deny what they did and it can make you look like a quack because most of the world is ignorant. But because you're okay with your authenticity, it doesn't affect you the way they want it to. Because the truth is what it is. Your integrity, your work ethic, your sincerity, your intentions and your motives, that's a frequency and that's a vibration. And that's why you'll be supported. You're supported. But I wanted to share this because they need you to look like a flake. So this sabotage has been for that reason, in part. In part. And since you're healed, no, I shouldn't say healing because I'm starting to look at shit differently. Let's just say you're balancing out. I think like this guy was saying, you're coming back to your true self. You're healing your body from abuse and getting yourself back into alignment. You're breaking a lot of molds. And so they have to take steps further. This is why they have to contact housing authorities and put their nose in your children's business and use bitches and niggas that they fuck. And, this is why They have to go that far. This is why they have to, use restaurants. Like, well, I know that they like to go here because they're still trying to affect your health. Oh, so, we'll have some people on foot watching them, if they go to this restaurant and, we'll tell this one if they're, this is how far they need to go, because they need you to look like you're feeble, you're weak, you're inept, you're a flake. And I've used this analogy in the physical of either having a really bad flu or pneumonia or somebody beating you up. There would be nobody expecting you to get out there and run a marathon or go work construction. But because people can't see with their two physical eyes, and people just plain ignorant about a lot of stuff, health issues, cycles of life, abuse and its effect on the body, you know what I'm saying? People just oblivious. And we're all different in that respect, right? But this is how that has worked in the past for them, because it's not seen. In the physical, nobody would be telling somebody who just got jumped by 30 people to go out there and run a marathon. Or to go work construction, or to be some kind of energizer bubble, to go out there and make shit happen, bitch, and be happy and smile, 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 smile. It's infuriating to hear, and I no disrespect, but people who ain't really gone through much of shit, or it's lightweight, or they have always had a lot of support in things, it's easy for them to say, smile, and someone's always with you. But if you're getting your ass whooped and your kids getting their ass whooped and drained the fuck out by predators and parasitical vampiric motherfuckers, being assaulted, people playing with your life in your face and behind the scene, you tell me if you're just gonna be happy, happy, joy, joy, fluffy, fluffy, happy, happy. So they wanted you grumpy because they know the world is ignorant about the shit that they own. So that the shallow surface control brainwashed minds would just see you as somebody that was just angry and mad. Somebody who getting their ass beat ain't just angry and mad because they gotta heal and recover, or they speak out against the people who jumped them. Have someone constantly trying to sabotage your life efforts, using and exploiting their positions, and you tell me how you gonna act, especially if they're successful at doing that. They need you to like a flake. So they have to manufacture stuff to appear like you're a flake. They need you to look unhinged. So they have to manufacture triggers and reactive abuse. They need you to look like you're just somebody angry and bitter in life, so they're manufacturing abuse around the clock, behind the scene. And here's the sad but mind-opening truth. The truth is they are all of those things. If they were not all those things, they wouldn't have been doing all the things they have done to you. See it yet? They are all those things. If they were not all those things, they would not have been doing those things to you. Let me give an example. So the people that they recruit, right, to come in to assist with the sabotage, what we must understand about that is, on some level, these people are not happy themselves. On some level, these people are angry and unhappy. On some level, these people are unstable because they feel like they can't get stability unless they take a shitty, dirty, shiesty deal from somebody. See, this is truth of all of them. They're unhinged. They're unstable. They're unhappy. They're flaky. Because some of these people, what's fascinating is like they themselves aren't really as stable as they appear. Okay? So now, with that being said, this next phase is going to be quite interesting, isn't it? The collective's authenticity serves them in a way to where you've unplugged from these social constructs, and you understand that there is more to things than meets the eye, just by way of your own life, which, as a byproduct, it takes you out of that rat race, fake, illusionary shit show. You know who you are, and you realize there's energies and powers that be that are behind the scene. So you're not defined. But the other beautiful thing is, you are breaking the molds. You've already done it. Big time. And you're going to continue to do that. You have nothing to prove to people who did not care for you or value you enough to be real with you about whatever their concerns were. People who had ill will and hidden dishonor for you is not in a position to be in a judgment seat. I learned that too. Because it's not about how much money they got in their wallet. If they had ill will and hidden dishonor, they're disqualified already. They don't get to judge our lives. People coming in with hidden agendas do not have weight. Okay, nobody really should, but they definitely don't have weight or position to judge your life. I want y'all to remember that. That's a head fuck. How is somebody who came in to hurt you, who was paid to hurt you, who was paid to lie to you, who was paid to take from you, who was paid to do spell work on you, who was paid to illegally surveillance you, how are they in a position to judge or critique your life? Let it drop. Keep moving forward. They need you to look like a flake, but they are the flakes. Continue as you've been. Unstoppable.